Hey everybody, here we are. It is 2 o'clock and it is time for my live stream webinar on what the heck is going on with Dream for All and what do we do as next steps. So I know there's a lot of people who have a lot of questions. I did this in Q&A mode. So basically, most of you are watching on the live stream. Some of you are watching, or some of you are watching through the webinar. Some of you are watching through YouTube or another source. But I'm going to monologue a little bit, but I need you to start typing in your questions. This is your time. Any questions? I don't have a specific agenda. I'm going to share with you what I'm doing next week and how I'm going to be educating you on what your options are. So that's number one that I'm going to share right now. We'll talk about interest rates a little bit and what that's going to look like for the people who were selected, but I'm going to go way deeper into that next week. But for those of you, I'm up to like 40 people right now that are watching. So I want you to start asking me your questions. I've already gotten a bunch of questions and I'm going to start going through some of those, but I need you to post with me on the chat and tell me exactly what your questions are. So while I am waiting for questions to load, remember, this is your time. If you have not done so yet, scan the QR code up here. It is going to take you to my website, and it is going to allow you to register for my webinars next week. It is likely how you found out about today's webinar. But you're going to scroll down here. If you were a voucher winner, you're going to click on this here, and you're going to, okay, I got questions coming in already, so keep posting the questions. I'll be pulling them up as we go. So we've got a webinar. If you are a winner, you're going to get a webinar either Monday at 11 or Tuesday at 4. If you were waitlisted, I'm going to do a specific webinar for you guys on Monday at 1 or Wednesday at 10:30. If you were not selected, which is unfortunately our largest group, then you're going to have a webinar Monday at 2:30 or Wednesday at 9 a.m. So that's kind of the big picture. Let's go ahead and start diving into questions. So Annie asks, can we add another borrower? So Cal Haffa, I asked that question very clearly months ago, and they said yes. They said, now you got to be careful because you cannot exceed the income limit. So you have to know that whatever amount of income is allowed for your county, even when you add another borrower, you can't exceed that income limit with the extra borrower, but you can. They told me before that you are allowed to add additional borrowers as long as the primary borrower stays on the loan, the primary borrower is issued the voucher, and that person stays on the loan, a co-borrower, it is not a problem. All right, so dude, it's Dom. Hey, Dom. Hey, dude, it's Dom. How can I get an extension? So Dom, part of that's why you need an extension. I'd love for you to post and tell me why it is you need an extension. Here's what I'll tell you about extensions. I mentioned this a few months ago in one of my videos, and I said, hey, there is an FAQ on the voucher registration portal. Many people missed it, but one of the things on the FAQ talked about getting an extension. And it said you can apply for a 90-day extension. And it talked about you have to apply for the extension, I think at least 2 weeks, maybe a month before the expiration of your current expiration date on the voucher. And that Cal Haffa will get back to you in 5 days or so to let you know if your extension's been approved. I got an answer today. I actually asked that question today of Cal Haffa, and they got back to me and said, we have not announced that there will be extensions allowed. Well, they kind of did because they had it in the FAQ. And she goes, but yes, we are going to offer extensions, but we do not have any information yet on what criteria it is going to take to grant an extension. And she said, the lender or the borrower needs to reach out to us if an extension is needed, and we will consider it and get back to them. Dude is Dom. It's the best I got. So part of it's why you need an extension. If you're in contract and it's a new construction home, you can lock for a longer period of time on new construction. I did get an answer today that you have to lock. So you have to lock before the end of your expiration date. All right. Dominique is on here. It seems to be glitching. I'm sorry that it's glitching. You can jump over onto YouTube if you want and watch it or get this the same way. Feel free either way. All right. So we've got a question from Maria. All right. So is the watch list number for a specific region or the entire state? I hate being old and having to wear these. On my last video, was unsure. I am now sure. It is per region. So I asked that question of my contact at CalHAFA, and she goes, John, it's per region. The watch list is in every single region. There is a watch list. The wait list is separate for every single region. And I said, well, how can that be? Because you said there was going to be a wait list with as many people as the original number of vouchers. So I'm going to use Los Angeles County as the example. There's 1,700 vouchers, and Los Angeles County represents 25% of the state's population. That means 425 people in Los Angeles County are going to get vouchers. But I have people who are way over 425 that are in Los Angeles County. And she said, yeah, because we wanted to make sure that there was no chance we were going to have to go back to the drawing board and open up the portal again. So we tripled the number of voucher winners, which means you've got 1,207, not voucher winners, waitlisters. You've got 1,275 people on the wait list for Los Angeles County for only 425 vouchers. Let's pretend half of the people of the 425 didn't buy in 90 days or have already purchased or decided they don't want to use Dream for All. Then you've got 213 vouchers that are going to go to the people on the wait list. So the people from 1 to 213 will only get picked if half the original winners don't buy. And now if half of those 213 don't buy, then only 106 people are going to be on the third round, which means we're not even going to hit the first 425. My view, and I'm going to have these calculations next week. Join my Zoom call next week for the waitlisted people. So I'm going to specifically dive into waitlisted people. I'm going to show you in every region, based on my best guess, how many vouchers were issued, how many waitlist numbers were issued. And if you're beyond the original number of vouchers issued, the chances of them getting to you are slim to none. So not the answer that we wanted, but it is the truth. I can certainly understand why they did it that way, because they don't want the chance of people, holding out hope that they're going to open up the lottery portal again. They don't want that. I can understand why they don't want it. I also am personally taking credit for the fact I talked to one of the reps last year in August, and I said, hey, if you put people on the wait list, can you at least number them? Because God forbid you have all these people on a wait list that think they might be next, and they're going to be waiting and hoping that they're next. And maybe she said that was a great suggestion and nobody had suggested it. So I'm taking 100% credit for that. But I think it's really a good thing, because imagine if you were on the wait list and you didn't know what number you were. You don't want to go buy a house because you could be number 2 on the list, but you don't want to wait forever if you're number 1,250 in Los Angeles County. So hopefully that helps. All right, let's keep going. F Sharp, you are 481. I believe you're in Los Angeles County. I have a lot of comments, and I'm happy I have a lot of comments, but if I don't know that I'll be able to get to it. But F Sharp, I will go over that in detail next week during my Zoom call, specifically to the people on the wait list. But for Los Angeles County has the most voucher winners of 425. And I highly doubt they're going to get to number 426 on the wait list. It would have to be a lot of people that didn't buy. So is that possible? Yes. Do I want you to forget it and say I'm not going to proceed? No, I'm not telling you that, but I'm saying, what should be my next move? I would be looking at other options and saying, can I buy without this? If I can, and it's going to require either your willingness to pay a higher monthly payment or your willingness to go to a lower price. It requires one of those two things. But if you can, I'd consider it. Okay. You heard me on the call earlier today, hopefully on my Zoom or on my live stream. I talked about the market softening this summer. I think it's going to pick up towards the end of summer, as it normally does with that Golden Gate Bridge example. And so if it was me, I being that far down the list, depending upon what county you're in, and in any other county, you're way down the list. In LA County, you're still more than double the number of vouchers, or more past the number of vouchers issued, if that makes sense. All right, let's keep going. Maria, I meant waitlist, watch it. Yes, you did. Okay, no worries. Santosh, I would like to know the percentage of chance I have waitlist of 667. I am going to go over that on Monday or Wednesday during the waitlist call. but I think I just gave you a pretty good idea of that. The wait list is huge. Let's think about these numbers, okay? 1,700 vouchers, and they put 3 times that number on the wait list, which means 4,800, 724. Yep, 4,800. Is that right? 1,700 times 3. Come on, John. I know it's 4,800, but I want to make sure my math isn't wrong, which probably makes me look worse because I should have just stuck with it. But anyway, 1,700. Somebody's probably already putting it in here telling me, yes, John, that's the math. 1,700 times 3. 5,100. I was close. I knew that number seemed a little off. So you have 5,100 waitlisters, 1,700 winners. That is 6,800 people that are on those 2 lists out of 17,000. So more than a third of the people, even though only 10% of the people are selected, you've got another 30% of the people that were on the list that got on the wait list. So 4 out of 10 people were either selected or on the wait list. 6 out of 10 were not. So the chances of you being selected, if you're at the top end of that wait list, even in the middle of that wait list, and I'm going to run some math and show you guys next week on the wait list Zoom call exactly how to think about it. There's no guarantee. They might get to the bottom of the list. It might be that everybody who just got a voucher can't buy. It could be, but it's highly improbable. Statistically speaking, it's not very likely. Okay. All right. So I've got a question from Annie. She says, the amount in the pre-approval, is that final or will it still be 20% of the purchase price? That's a great question. I love that question. Nothing is final. Nothing is guaranteed except death and taxes. Nothing is final. Your purchase price is going to depend on your qualifications when you go into contract. So if you have a voucher, you're not in contract yet, but you're going to review with your lender, or if I'm your lender, or if you switch to me as your lender, you're going to review with me. And we're going to talk about what is your income right now. I had a couple of these conversations already today, and we talked strategy about what counties you're buying in, but you are specifically going to get they reserved the full $150,000 for everyone. So if you're buying in a market that home prices are $300,000 or $400,000, you're only getting 60 to 80 grand, which means even if the entire amount of people who got a voucher win it and use it, at the end of 90 days, there's more vouchers to be drawn because they set aside the full 150 grand for everybody. So that's really good news for both the people on the wait list and also for the people who were selected. If you were selected at a pre-approval amount of 600,000 and they said 120 grand is your amount of your Dream for All loan, and you've gotten a pay raise and you haven't exceeded the income limit for your county, then you can use that higher amount. You can buy at that higher amount. And if you're at 700,000 in the end, you get $140,000 from the state instead of the 120. So hopefully that helps. Remember, there's a $150,000 cap. All right. Cheryl is asking, was the number after the wait list, the wait list position? I have not seen it, but everybody has told me that the number is right there. When it says wait list, there's a number. So I can't tell you if it's before or after or below or whatever, but yes, I believe what you're referring to is the wait list number. And you have to compare that to how many people in your region were selected. And remember, 3 times the number of people in your region that got vouchers, 3 times the number of vouchers available is how many people they put on the wait list. All right. Claude says, I got waitlisted number 324. Again, depends on what county you're in as to whether that is a good number or what region you're in, really. Los Angeles County is a region of its own. Orange County is a region of its own. But the Bay Area is a region of, 6 or 7 counties. So you got to be careful about how you look at counties versus regions. All right. Maria says the waitlist number update on the portal is the same. That's a great question. God, that's a great question. I have no idea. So what she's asking, I'm going to interpret the way that I understand your question is will the waitlist number on the portal update as your position on the waitlist moves? So if you're number 10 on the wait list and they issue 5 more vouchers in your region, do you become number 5 on the wait list or do you stay listed as number 10? I don't know. We're going to start seeing that. We're going to start seeing I'm sure that by next week, there's already going to be some vouchers issued. of people who were on the wait list because somebody pulled out. Somebody already bought a home. I already know one client in that situation who bought a home even though he got selected for a voucher. So you're going to notice in the next week if your waitlist number starts going down or not. Please let me know. If anybody finds out their waitlist number goes down, let me know, post it. That way I can provide it in my update next Friday if I'm not able to do it anytime sooner. All right. Sunshine says, is the waitlist number going to be updated? Yeah, the same question. I have no clue. That would be ideal. I really hope they do that. Me too. All right, Maria, how many people are getting vouchers in Sacramento County? So that I don't have those numbers in front of me right now. What I'll tell you is Sacramento County is not just the one county. Sacramento region is Sacramento, El Dorado, Placer, I think Yolo County. So you've got multiple counties within a region. I believe Sacramento was somewhere maybe 9 or 10% of the state's population. So I'm looking at out of 1,700 vouchers, you probably have 150 to 170. I have the numbers. I just don't have them in front of me. I'll be sharing them next week on the wait list call so that you guys can see exactly within your counties where you're at. And we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that because those on the wait list, that's the thing you have to decide. Do I wait? Do I not? Should I stay or should I go now? Okay, I'm not a singer. But you have to decide, should you stay or should you go? So that's really what we're going to be discussing on the waitlist calls. 2 calls next week. Click the link, click the QR code up above, and get scheduled for those Zoom calls. All right. I love it, guys. Keep the questions coming. All right. Way less hopeful. I know. I know. I mean, when it was statewide, when people were telling me, hey, it was 600, I'm like, well, there's no way because they were only going to offer 1 waitlist position for every 1 voucher position. But since she confirmed today, and I had to push, by the way, because I asked once about how is it regional or statewide, and she simply said it's regional. And I said, well, the math doesn't add up. How in the world does that happen? And that's when she told me, because we issued 3 times the number of waitlisters as we have on the number of vouchers. All right. You got lucky. So congratulations on getting lucky. I'm assuming your get lucky means you got selected and you got a voucher. How much can I add on top of the 20% down payment? 5% plus closing costs. So you can put a total of 20, well, depends on if you're over 750 grand. So whatever the amount is you're getting from Dream For All, you can add 5%. Okay. So if you're buying $1 million home, you're only getting 15% from the state because you're getting 150 grand. And then you can add your own 5% to come up with 20. If you're like the average person that's not buying in LA or San Francisco, you're buying a house less than 750 grand, you get the 20% from the state, and then you can put 5% of your own money extra, and you can pay your own down payment. So I like to describe to the winners, and I'm going to go over this next week on the winners call as well, that I like to simplify it by saying you have 3 choices as a winner. You can put the maximum amount of cash, the medium amount of cash, or the least amount of cash. The maximum amount of cash says you pay the 5% extra plus your closing costs. The medium amount of cash says you just pay your closing costs. The least amount of cash says we're going to build your closing costs into the loan amount, so you're not putting any extra down payment and you're not paying for the closing costs. The only thing you have to pay for is your earnest money deposit, your appraisal fee, your credit report fee, and any inspections that you're paying for as you are in the escrow period. Everything else we would include in the loan amount. So hopefully that helps. All right. Heine says, do we have to upload the voucher to your website or do you have a copy of it? That is a great question. First of all, congratulations on getting selected. I do not have a copy of it. I do need you to send me a copy. So if you're working with me, first of all, if you're not working with me, go ahead and hang up now. I'm waiting. I'm just kidding. But if you are working with me, send me your voucher. If you're not working with me and you still decide you don't want to, that's your choice. Send it to your lender. We did not get notified. We didn't get a copy of the voucher. We have no idea. I'm texting and trying to reach out to all of you. So Heini, I'm glad that you're here and letting me know. But yes, send me a copy of your voucher, upload it into the same portal that you've uploaded your income documents. You can email it to us. You can send it Pony Express. It's entirely up to you. All right. And congratulations. All right. Andy says, how many vouchers were issued in OC? I don't have that sitting in front of me. What I'll tell you is OC, I think, was around a dozen, like 12, 13%. So if we say, I feel like we're in the high 200s. I feel like it was, or mid 200s, like 220, 230-ish. San Diego was a little bit greater than Orange County. So I think you're looking at, a couple hundred. Again, if you're on the wait list and you're asking that, I am going to go through every single county next week on the Zoom calls and go over with you exactly what it looks like being on the wait list, exactly what your what your statistics are. But again, it's impossible for me to tell you for sure whether you got a shot, because it depends. Every single person in front of you could use their voucher, or nobody in front of you could use it. That's the part nobody can predict. All right. Sunshine. By the way, guys, I love that the questions are still coming, and I want you to keep coming. I'll stay on as long as we need to. So we're good. All right, Sunshine. How many people in the Central Valley get? How about the Bay Area? Did they use location on the pre-approval form or your current address? Okay. They used your current address. So when you put in your voucher request, they asked you to prove, you have to put in your photo ID. You had to put in proof of residency on where you're living. They use that location to determine where you were selected from. You can buy anywhere that you want, but they use that location to figure out where you're selected from. Again, I wish I had the numbers in front of me. It's been a pretty busy day. I'm thinking you can imagine that my team and I have had a pretty busy day. So I started working on those numbers so that I can have them ready for the Zoom calls next week. I just don't have them in front of me for the numbers in each county. But join my Zoom calls next week. I'll happily have that ready and explain that to you at that time. All right. Linda. Hi, Linda. Thanks, John. I'll check in on Monday as I am waitlisted. Perfect. Let's talk on Monday. Linda, you might want to schedule an appointment on the link because it's going to be a busy week. So let's try and get some time together on Monday. Guys, you can use the same QR code link, schedule time with me. And if it's completely booked and you're a VIP, Linda's a VIP, we'll move things around for you, Linda. But just in general, guys, just understand I'm walking a tightrope because I don't want anybody to think that I'm too busy to take care of you. I've worked really hard to be a good resource for everyone on this program. And that means that a lot of people are asking questions all at the same time. So hopefully you give us a little bit of grace, especially because next week's a holiday week. We do have all hands on deck all week long. All right. How long is the wait list? About big, maybe. I'm just kidding. 3 times the number of people. You may have asked this question before I covered that. 3 times the number of people that they picked. So they picked 1,700 people statewide. That means they have 5,100 people on the wait list. See how I did that math so quickly? Because those of you who weren't here earlier when I had to pull up my calculator, you didn't know that my brain didn't operate that quickly. But I'm under pressure. I got 50 people staring at me right now, so I gotta give the guy a break. Anyway, 5,100 people are on the wait list. It's going to depend on which county. So your number, nobody is number 5,000. Okay, the highest number is going to be in Los Angeles County, and somebody is number 1,200 and whatever it was, 1,250 people. I know 1,275. So somebody's number 1,275 in Los Angeles County. That's the highest number anybody's going to see in my understanding, but it's 5,100 people total. All right. Barbie says, will the 150,000 be able to be used for 20% down and closing costs, assuming they come out to 150 or less combined? So the answer is yes. You can take the 150 grand. So let's use the purchase price of $500,000 just to simplify the math. You buy a house for $500,000. You get $100,000 from Dream for All. So your loan amount is $400,000. Now you have a choice. You can put extra money, as I talked about, which means you could put $25,000 extra, 5% of the $500,000 price. You can say, I want to buy a house for $500,000 and I want a loan amount of $375,000. And you're coming up with that $25,000 plus closing costs. Or you can say, you know what, I just want to pay the closing costs, so I want my loan amount to be $400,000. Or you can say, I want my closing costs included in the loan amount. Now, the closing costs, anywhere 3.5% to 5%, and there's lots of things that will vary in between. Let's just go worst case scenario and say it's 5% for closing costs. Now you have $25,000 in closing costs, which means you're buying your $500,000 home. Instead of loaning you $100,000, instead of loaning you $400,000, I'm loaning you $425,000. So you're building it into the numbers. I'm an expert at doing it. Out of the 8 people that I helped last year with Dream for All, and that was just because it was a mad rush, right, to get it done, 4 of them came up with nothing out of pocket. They used the strategy that I'm talking about. So I am very well versed in that strategy, Barbie. All right. Atul says, hi, you're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Waitlist 134 in the Bay Area. Join my call next week. I think that's pretty good. Honestly, I think that's pretty good. I would say the Bay Area is probably going to have 400-ish, 350-ish. It's second largest percentage of the vouchers went to the Bay Area. The largest went to Los Angeles. So the fact that you're in the hundreds and you have, 350, 400 vouchers available is a decent shot. Okay, that's where I'd start saying, hey, you've got a decent shot. We'll talk more about that on the Zoom call next week. All right, Kirsten, hey, you're welcome. How long is the window for folks to use vouchers before they start offering the wait list people? 90 days. So they have 90 days. Now, I got the impression they said by the date and time of the expiration date. So anybody who's a winner, can you tell me, did they put an expiration date and time? And is it, so what do we got? June, July, August, September? Is it September 28th at 2 in the morning? Because that's when they sent them out. Like, what's the date and time on there? I'd love to know. But basically, we're looking at 90 days from now. But remember, Kirsten, Cal Haffa said there is a method for them to get an extension. I don't know who they're going to give it to or when they're going to grant it. But technically, if someone got an extension, then they now have until almost the end of December to use it before it's going to go to somebody on the wait list. But some people are canceling right now. And they're saying, you know what? I'm out. I already bought. I'm out because I can't afford the price home that I wanted. Like I was hoping rates would go down, or I was hoping I was going to get a promotion or a new job with higher pay, or I was hoping my dad was going to co-sign. And those people are going to fall out. Those people are going to cancel. I hope they do the right thing and cancel right away. And I hope those go to the waitlisted people right away, but there's really no guarantee. So they'll fall off through attrition if they don't jump in and cancel. All right. So Samantha says our waitlist number dropped by 1 this morning. Yay! So we think it's updating. I am really happy to hear that. Any movement tells me that it's not a static number. So I'm super happy to hear that your waitlist number dropped. Thank you for sharing that. That's the best way that I'm going to get information. I see my viewership's dropping as I'm getting down to in the mid to high 30s. So guys, I'm going to keep going as long as you have questions. So we'll keep going here. Andy says, can they do another draw in the wait list? They don't want to. They don't want to draw anybody else. It's why they made the wait list so big, so that there's almost no chance they get to the end. So if you're the highest number on the wait list, you almost have no chance of getting picked, because they looked at their statistics and said, if we make it 3 times the size of the number of vouchers we have, there's no way we're going to get to the end of that. So no, I don't think they're going to do another draw for another wait list. All right. So now I've got a tool. How soon can we expect this wait list to move week over week, fortnightly? I think by the minute. Like, I think from what Samantha said, her wait list number dropped this morning, and they only came out this morning. So I would, again, it's per region. So if your wait list number hasn't dropped, it means nobody in your region has rejected their voucher. But you can, from what I can tell from what Samantha said, you can expect to have the wait list updated immediately. So that's really good news. All right. Sareem says, I've been selected to receive a Dream for Al voucher. Congratulations. What it means is you need to call me. What it means is you have to talk to the lender you used originally, me, or another lender if you hate both of us. Okay. I hope that's not the case. By the way, I love my fellow lenders. Like I think there's some great lenders out there. And so I am not telling you bail on your lender, but I'm saying if your lender does not understand what they're doing, or if they aren't giving you good information, how can you expect them to guide you? Like, this is a program that is a very, very unique, specialized program. And if they're not able to give you good information and answer your questions, do you want to trust them with helping you figure this out in the next 90 days and not get it wrong? So it's critical that you use the right lender. But Serene, the answer is you need to get a real pre-approval letter. This is actually a critical question I didn't make clear, critical statement. The pre-approval letter you got to submit with your voucher is not, or with your lottery ticket request, is not a pre-approval letter you can use to write an offer on a home. So you need to go back to your lender and say, hey, I need a real pre-approval letter. They've got to look at your income again. They've got to look at your bank statements again. They got to make sure that nothing has changed. Interest rates are at 6.8 right now. Who knows where they were when you got your voucher, when you got your original approval to submit into the portal. So you need to, what it means is you have $150,000, up to $150,000 waiting at the state of California for you to buy your dream home. but now you have to get the right lender and the right real estate agent and get a pre-approval letter from that lender. And you have to lock a loan on a home that you're in contract for before the expiration date 90 days from now. That is what it means, and congratulations. All right. Sunshine says, can you pay down the 30-year mortgage faster than the minimum payment? So if you pay double every month, will it violate anything? No violations whatsoever. I'm not a huge fan of that. Now, don't misunderstand. I think that paying down your mortgage is great, but I'd rather see you put that extra money into another investment that will grow. Paying down your mortgage, you literally only save the interest and you save no dollars in monthly payment. If you put the money into an investment, and it might not be a risky investment, but if you put it into an investment, that money is going to grow on its own. And if a rainy day comes and something happens, you can grab it and use it. Okay. I have some clients who have run into situations. I have some clients who did 15 and 20-year loans back in 2020 and 2021. And I told all of them, hey, it's safer to do a 30-year loan and put that extra money somewhere that you can use for a rainy day. And some of them said, nope, John, I don't trust myself to make that extra payment. And if I put it in the rainy day fund, I'm going to spend it. And I understand that concern. And so they said, I want to do the 15-year loan. And they did. But here's the problem. The problem is they're not coming back to me saying, John, I got this 15-year loan. I got a 2.5% interest rate, and I have $65,000 of credit cards that are at 30%, and I can't afford to pay them. And I don't know what to do. And that's what I'm afraid of, is when you throw money into your mortgage or you force a higher payment, you lose the ability to tap back into that money unless you do a new loan. And that costs you money, and you have to be able to qualify. If you put the money into a savings account, if you put it into an investment, you hide it away and you lock it up with a key, and then you only need to get into it in a rainy day, but now you can access it instead of being stuck. So I'm not a huge fan of paying extra. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. But I've been doing this for 24 years, and I've seen a lot of horror stories with people paying down their mortgage faster, and then they needed that money and they can't get to it. They don't qualify for a mortgage anymore because they needed that money because they got laid off from their job, or somebody had a disability, or something happened, and now they can't get to the money unless they refinance, and they can't refinance because they don't qualify anymore. So I think if you can lock up that money and not touch it, put it somewhere that you can't touch, please. You never know what's going to happen. And at some point in time, that nest egg will build up enough that you can just write a check to pay off your mortgage. Now, I know a Dream For All is different because you got to pay off the assistance loan as well. But the fact is, you could use that money and put it in that account, and at some point pull it out to pay off the Dream For All loan, to buy out your silent partner. I know I'm going on a rant here. I know that I'm making a big deal out of this, but I think that this is a really big deal, and I've got a decent sized audience right now. So I want to tell you, be careful about how you use your money and where you put it, and think about the future. Because yes, it's great to pay off your mortgage faster, but it's really hard to get the money in the meantime if you need it. So think about different alternatives. Hopefully that helps. All right. Heine said, you are working with me. I know, Heine, I remember. I'm happy. Thank you. I was talking to other people that may not be working with me, but I know you and you're San Diego, I'm pretty sure. But I know you're down south. All right. Daravidi says, how many vouchers in the Bay Area? I answered that as best I could. I know you probably asked it before. I answered it, but you're looking at my best guess. Bay Area somewhere 20 to 22%, I think, of the group. So you're talking about 350 to 400 as a ballpark number. All right. Andy says, thanks, John. You're welcome, Andy. Andy says he's waitlist number 124. Linda says, thanks, John. Truly appreciate it. Sunshine says, you're the most knowledgeable lender on YouTube. I really appreciate the tips. I'm going to bet I'm more knowledgeable than people that aren't on YouTube. I'm just saying. Guys, I joke. I want to take a moment here. I do joke about this stuff. I try to be funny. I think that helps connect with people. I do believe I'm really good at what I do. And so I have 3 teenagers, and I'm teaching them a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Ask for what you want. Now, I taught them that early in life, and that backfired a little bit because they're like, great, Dad, I want an allowance. I want this. Okay, well, ask for what you want when you're not living in my house. Okay, but I believe you ask for what you want because you don't get it. I want for you guys to do business with me. So Sunshine, I appreciate you saying that. Some people might think I'm being egotistical. I'm joking, but I do think I'm good at what I do, and I'm proud of that. And so I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. All right. Bravo says, thanks. By the way, can we also do mortgage buy downs aside from the max option? You were saying, yes. For the last 2 weeks, I have had a video ready to create, and I haven't created it. And it's all about interest rates and locking rates and how do you lock a rate. And I'm talking specifically about Dream For All. And what is a temporary buy down? What is a permanent buy down? How is it going to work? What options should I pick? I have a complete agenda. I have the last 6-month history of what interest rates have been with Dream For All to give you an idea of should you buy down or not, and should you do a temporary buy down or not. So the answer is 100% yes. And probably be a good 40-minute video of me explaining everything you need to know about locking an interest rate. And I will have it out sometime soon. Like I should have done it before now because now we're crazy busy, but I've got the agenda completely ready for it. And so I hope to have that done early next week and publish it, because for those of you who are winners, you need to understand all of that. You need to understand it before you lock in an interest rate. So I appreciate that. Bravo. Sunshine says, is the $50,000 grant over with? No, but man, it's close. I have not received notification it's over. If you have questions about it, I've got information about it on my YouTube channel, but I have no information about it being over. I was told by 2 different sources last week. One of them said 75% of the money was gone. The other one said only 50% was gone. One of them said it might be a week, and that was actually early this week that I got that information. The other one said it's probably middle of July. Nobody knows. Last year, let's use this as an example. Last year, Cal Haffa on the first Thursday in April said, hey, we're almost out of Dream For All money. Based on the statistical average of how many locks we've had per day, the money is going to run out by Tuesday of next week. And it ran out the next morning in 3 hours. So as these things start built, now we're not going to have that problem this time because you have a reservation, you have a voucher, you have a golden ticket. But as this ramps up, with the $50,000 program, you got more and more people that are almost in contract and ready to use the money. And then they start scrambling and getting desperate, saying, oh my gosh, the money is almost gone. I'm going to write offers even higher over asking price. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to buy a house that I didn't really love because I don't want to miss out on the 50 grand. So when they say the money is getting tighter, it goes quicker and quicker. It goes exponentially faster the closer you are to the end. Hopefully that helps. Heine says, just submitted the voucher on your Summit Funding website. Thank you, Heine. I actually caught that as it came through my notifications. I've been getting a bunch. Bravo says the voucher expires 11:59 Pacific time on September 26th. Okay, so let me explain one more thing. Rate locks stop at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at Cal Haffa. So whatever the date September 26th is, I don't have my calendar in front of me. Let me take a look here and see. September 26th. What day of the week are you? So we're in June, July, August, September. September 26th is a Thursday. So Thursday, the 26th of September at 2:29 p.m. Depending upon your lender, maybe 2:59 p.m. PM, afternoon, is the latest you can lock a loan, because Cal Haffa shuts off their locks at 3 p.m. Now, my company says, hey, we want John to press the button no later than 2:30 to give us a half an hour to process it at Cal Haffa's website. Okay. Last year on the last day of the money, Cal Haffa's website slowed way down, and it shuts off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you don't have until 11:59 p.m. You have until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is the deadline for when Cal Haffa receives the lock, and your lender needs to push the button a little while before that so that their corporate office can push the button with Cal Haffa. All right. Your letter says 11:59 by, yep, thank you. Same thing. Thanks, Barbara. Maria says, thanks, John. Waitlist number 70s in Sacramento. I like it. Sacramento, I mean, it's better than nothing. I'll tell you, Sacramento is going to be less than 10%. So you have 170 vouchers, which means you're going to have, or 150 vouchers. If your waitlist number is less than the total number of vouchers, you got a shot. That's the simplest thing I can tell you. If your waitlist number is greater than the number of vouchers issued, it's going to be rough. Okay. Serene said, yay, thank you. I agree. Yay, thank you. Barbie says 11:59. Yep, we're good there. 709 in Riverside County. That's high. Riverside, Inland Empire, that's a small number. Like Inland Empire, I don't remember the number. Maybe it was 12% of the state's population. Way lower. Oh, I want my camera. It overheated. All right. So it is way lower. This thing's going to kick back on here in a second, and then it's going to go off in a minute. So I have a new camera, and I love it. But the one thing is that it kind of turns into a pumpkin after a certain point in time. And I thought it was because I had it plugged in, but I haven't had it plugged in, and it's not happy. Submarine. I will go through that next week on the Zoom call, but I don't like that number for you. 682 in the Bay Area. Any hope? I don't like that number either. We'll talk more next week. Clarify the income limit is based on the county you live in or the county you buy. So your voucher was based on the county you live in. Vouchers are out. Vouchers are done. So you no longer care about the county you live in. You care about the county you're buying in. Your income limit is based on the income of the county you're buying in. I'm going to move quick to get through these, hopefully, so that I can wrap up before my camera goes dead again. Is it true that the 2 years is the minimum you need to stay in your house to avoid tax? Oh, that's a great question. Kind of. It has to do with how much you gain. So you pay capital gains. I'm not a tax advisor. I don't play one on TV. I'm kind of playing one right now on YouTube. But tax law currently says you pay no gain up to $250,000 per person or $500,000 for a married couple, as long as you've occupied the house as your primary residence for 2 out of the last 5 years. So you got to stay for 2 years. Now, if you sell in a year, but you didn't make any money, you pay no taxes. Think about that, because it's only paying taxes on how much you gained. If you sold in a year and you didn't make a gain because prices didn't really change or they went up enough that they paid for your costs of the real estate agent, then you have no gain and you pay no taxes. That's the true answer, even though I'm not a tax advisor and I can't give tax advice. All right. Leela said, I heard you say they selected 5,000 candidates. Thus, it includes voucher candidates or just the wait list? Just 5,100 on the wait list. Because you said 3 times the number of vouchers. We have 1,700 vouchers plus 3 times that on the wait list. So 5,100 wait listers, 1,700 actual voucher winners, 6,800 total people that are on the list right now. So it's not just 5,100, it's 6,800, including that. All right. Heine, will you be sending me a list of documents you need to prepare? Absolutely, I will. And we'll be working on that. Now that we know who the winners are, we're trying to sort through who the winners are. We'll send you a list. We're actually going to get your loan fully through underwriting so that you have a fully underwritten pre-approval and we can get this closed quickly. So if your lender's not doing that, you need to get them or work with me so that we can get a fully underwritten pre-approval done. That's critical. All right, Julie, 137 in Trinity County. I don't love it. Trinity is rural areas. The rural areas, it's like 6% maybe of the state's population. Like, it's a silly low number that I think you've got 75 vouchers. I'm totally guessing here. So the fact that you're beyond number, and there's a bunch of counties in the rural areas. So I hate to say it, I don't love it. Sunshine says 298 in the Central Valley. I don't love that, Sunshine. Again, we'll talk more about this on the wait list next week. And then Enoch says, thank you for all the information. Do I think DFA will make prices go up? That's a great question. By the way, it's my last question. If you have more, post them now or forever hold your peace. Actually, just hold it until Monday and jump on one of my Zoom calls on Monday, okay? Use this QR code, scan it, sign up for one of the Zoom calls, set up a one-on-one with me. The Zoom call is going to help because I'll answer more questions specifically to your group. But here's the deal. Yes, house prices are supply and demand. Right now, demand has been softening some. So I think our timing is good that we're going to get, here comes my camera. Anyway, I'll keep talking. I think our timing is good because we're going to get more demand coming in at a time when demand is down a little bit. So I think it's going to help balance things out, but I think that it's an unknown and it's really going to depend on the region that you're in and how much inventory there is. But for sure, we just released 1,700 people into the wild with a burning hot potato in their hand that says, I got to spend this money in the next 90 days. So there's lots of homes on the market in the state of California. This isn't going to make like a big dent. It's not like there's only, 2,000 homes on the market and we just added 1,700 buyers. But yes, I think it is going to make it more competitive at certain price points, because a lot of us are competing in the same price points. In Los Angeles County, most of my buyers are trying to buy anywhere between $650,000 and $1 million. Like, that price point is really where the target is. So anything below that, not many buyers are looking for with Dream For All. Not many, some. Anything above that, very, very few, and almost none are buying at those higher prices. All right. Barbie says, can you help me, dear John? Thank you, dear Barbie. My current mortgage lender, I haven't heard from until today since they gave me the pre-approval letter. So are you asking if I can help you with your Dream For All, be your lender? I accept. So if that was a proposal, I accept only a proposal to be a mortgage person. My wife and I have an agreement that I don't accept proposals from other people for anything else. So if that's your question, I would love to help you. Scan that QR code up above. There is in that link on that page a spot just to start the application. Like if you're ready to go and you want to go, start the application, okay? Move forward with it. I would love to help you out. It certainly will fast track you because we're holding back some appointment slots for people that have put in applications because I've got to prioritize, and I hope you guys understand that. So yes, Barbie, if that's what you're asking, I accept. If I misunderstood, then I'm really embarrassed right now. I'm kidding. All right, Ranjo, my last question so far says I got selected. Yes, congratulations. Ranjo, I think you're one of my clients. I'm positive you're one of my clients. So I'm saying congratulations. That's a win for you and a win for me. Can you get a home in other counties? You absolutely can. Now, it all depends on your work. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you are self-employed. So as long as you can run your business from other counties, you can move to Sacramento as long as you can still maintain the same business. So the question is stability of income. Now, if you are moving from LA to Sacramento, this wonderful camera here, if you're moving from LA to Sacramento, I do love the camera, by the way. It's a great Sony digital camera, whatever, but it's just super annoying when it keeps doing this. All right, so, and now I get really close to the microphone. There we go. All right, so you can move to another county and you can use the voucher in any county that you want. The question simply is, can you have stable income? So is it within a commute distance of where your job is at? Do you work remotely and you can have that income anywhere? We just have to make sure that your income is stable. Being self-employed is a little bit unique because it depends on the nature of your business. That if you are a real estate agent, well, you can do real estate. I know you're not a realtor. If you're a real estate agent, you could do real estate in LA and you could transfer to Sacramento and do real estate in Sacramento. But it's not the same client base. And what you were able to earn in LA being a realtor doesn't mean you're able to earn the same in Sacramento. But if you do online sales, who cares whether you're sitting on your couch, your home office computer in LA or your home office computer in Sacramento? Your online sales can be done from anywhere. So we really do dive in deep to understand the nature of your employment. So hopefully that helps. Guys, I feel pretty good. I hit a peak of about 50. We're at 49 people right now. I really appreciate, it fell to 48. Right as I said it, it fell to 48. I'm disappointed now. I really appreciate you guys trusting me. Please click the link up above or type in CaliforniaDreamForAll.info. You'll see everything on the page as far as registering for future events next week. If you want to get the process started with us, there's a link right there in the middle to start the application process, and I'd be honored to help any of you. Please, even if you're not working with me, join the Zoom calls next week, and I'm happy to provide information. Sunshine said, what's the quickest closing possible? Depends on how backed up Cal Halfa is. By the way, if you got a voucher, you need to sign up for your education. Oh man, we can't forget that. So go to Cal Halfa's website, sign up for the education immediately. It's going to be $99. There's two versions. You need to do both. One is free, one costs $99, and you have to do both. So if you got a voucher, sign up for education. It's 7 hours of an online class. It does not take 7 hours. It doesn't take an hour. And then a live one-on-one with somebody. It's scheduling the one-on-one that was a major problem last year. Please, waitlisters, do not go get the education. All you're doing is getting in the way of the people who got selected. So if you're on the wait list, don't do the education until you get a voucher. And unless you're number one on the wait list and you think you're going to get one right away, but go get the education. What I don't know is how long Cal Halfa is going to take to process their piece. I can close you in 14 days. So we use local appraisers. I've got local appraisers all around the state. So I'm not worried about the appraisal process. We're going to get your loan underwritten ahead of time, and we're going to write really, really strong offers. One of the things that's going to happen once anybody who is selected, if you choose me as your lender, whether I've been your lender or you choose me now, we're going to do a meeting with you and I to talk strategy. Then we're going to schedule another meeting with you and I and your real estate agent. And if you need a real estate agent, I know them all up and down the state. But we're going to schedule a Zoom call with the three of us, you, me, and your real estate agent, to talk strategy. Because Sunshine, what you're talking about is critical. How quick can we close? What do we write as contingencies? We can waive the loan contingency in most cases because I've already pre-underwritten your loan, okay? Victor says not selected. Yeah, I'm sorry, Victor. It's been a very emotional day for a lot of people, but join our Zoom call next week for the not selected people, and I'm happy to share with you lots of options and different ways to look at it. So we are just about out of questions. I have no other questions. So I simply want to say thank you. 51 people. I'm going to end on a high at 51 people watching live right now. I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate your trust. One more favor, tell everybody about my California Dream for All YouTube channel. I'm at 760 subscribers and I want to hit 1,000. It's a big milestone. It's taken me a year to get to 750 and I'd love to get another 250 in the next month. So help me grow my California Dream for All channel. I would really appreciate that. Share that with people you know. I'm going to continue to provide great information and updates as I have been, and I really look forward to taking great care of all of you. So for the winners, congratulations. For the waitlisters, I understand the frustration. For the ones not selected, we have options. I got to be honest, I feel the worst for the waitlisters that are down on the list, because waitlisters, you feel like you got to hope. At least if you were put out of your misery, you can look at the options now. Man, I love this camera. Anyway, I do have one more question that's coming. Maria says, does the time reset 90 days once you get a voucher? Yes. So if you were on the wait list and you're number 2 and then you get a voucher next week, you have 90 days from then. So it's 90 days from when you got your voucher in order to utilize your voucher. So hopefully that's helped. I don't see Victor's got a question. Victor's got a statement. Thank you for your input. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you. Lots of ways you can reach out to me and put comments on YouTube, and I'll continue to monitor them. And we got another one. Shikamuka. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name. Not selected. Yeah, guys. Anyway, continue to let me know who got selected. I have a poll on my YouTube channel, my Dream for All channel. So go to the poll section and answer the question of whether you're selected, waitlisted, or not selected. And there is the 4th option that is, I didn't even enter into the lottery, but I like entering my name into polls. So you have that option if you want, but fill it out there and tell us so that we can kind of keep statistics of what we see within the population of the people that are watching my videos. Gang, I really, really appreciate your trust. I really appreciate the opportunity to take care of you. And I look forward to continuing to earn your trust to help you and anyone that you feel comfortable referring me to. I'd be honored. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Try and stay cool. It's going to be crazy next week. Happy 4th of July if I don't talk to you before then. Bye-bye.